Local news and local weather here on CBS3.
Tonight, the dust has settled in D.C., but not before dozens of Democrats call for the president to be removed from office. And after Biden is certified as the president-elect, we're hearing from a Wisconsin congressman who objected to the process. Plus, opening again as entertainment venues prepare to reopen to the public. We're hearing from business owners about what this means for them.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. Democratic leaders and a growing list of lawmakers are calling for President Donald Trump to be removed from office after Wednesday's riots inside the U.S. Capitol. And the president is now speaking out against the attack. CBS News correspondent Michael George has the latest from Capitol Hill.
A day after the attack on Capitol Hill, President Trump says in a new White House video that he's outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem. The president also acknowledged his time in the White House is coming to a close, although he did not concede the election.
Now Congress has certified the results. A new administration will be inaugurated on January 20th. My focus now turns to ensuring a smooth, orderly, and seamless transition of power. And to all of my wonderful supporters, I know you are disappointed, but I also want you to know that our incredible journey is only just beginning.
Top Democrats are demanding President Trump's removal from office under the 25th Amendment, or for him to face a second impeachment trial on Capitol Hill.
And by inciting sedition, as he did yesterday, he must be removed from office.
President-elect Joe Biden also blamed President Trump for inciting his supporters to violently storm the Capitol building.
He unleashed an all-out assault on our institutions of our democracy from the outset. And yesterday was but the culmination of that unrelenting attack.
And tonight we're learning the Capitol Police Chief has resigned amid intense criticism.
The cavalry should have been coming to get those people the hell off the steps and the platforms, but that would have been very, very ugly and difficult to do if you didn't have superior force.
CBS News has learned that some of the rioters involved in the attack may still be in the Washington area, and new intelligence shows they may be planning new attacks in the city and on federal buildings.
The FBI has received more than 4,000 tips so far. The U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia says all options are on the table for charging the rioters, including sedition. And tonight outside Duluth City Hall, a show of unity following those riots in Washington. Several dozen people showed up downtown for what they called a vigil. The group held signs and candles mourning and denouncing the violence and disruption to our democracy.
I felt it was important to have an event where we could just get some people together and say we're still here, we're the majority, despite the loud mobs at the Capitol.
Zach, who you just heard from there, says he was happy to see the turnout given he posted the idea on Facebook just hours before. Meanwhile, Wisconsin Congressman Tom Tiffany was one of many who objected to certifying President-elect Joe Biden's victory during the certification process this week. CBS 3's Natalie Grant spoke with the Republican about his reasoning and what he hopes to see in future elections in Wisconsin.
After a day of chaos at the Capitol, Congress has affirmed the 46th president, but not before some voiced objections.
And the reason I did that is because of the election improprieties that are going on in various states around America, including in Wisconsin.
While there has been no proven voter fraud, Congressman Tom Tiffany of Wisconsin's 7th Congressional District objected to votes in both Arizona and Pennsylvania. He says that lack of election transparency was a key issue behind his choice.
We need to clean this up. In order to have integrity, we have to have transparency. And that should be the next goal as we go forward, is to have greater transparency with how our elections are run in every state in America.
As for voting in Wisconsin, Tiffany says that there are areas of improvement he wants to focus on in order to avoid situations like this again, saying Wisconsin's higher courts need to make election laws clear to avoid any confusion or mistrust.
Like the Wisconsin State Supreme Court really needs to step in and clarify what the law is here in Wisconsin, because I believe it's very clear But some are saying, no, that's not what it is. It's up to the courts. That's their job, to adjudicate these differences.
Hoping to keep the conversation going as our country moves forward with a new administration.
In regards to the attack on the Capitol yesterday, Tiffany said there needs to be an investigation and those involved should be charged to the fullest extent of the law. He also said he will be attending Biden's inauguration in just a couple of weeks. All right, let's switch gears and head over for the weather. Dave, some more fog rolling in, and there was even just this weird layer of snow over in West Duluth tonight.
Yeah, a little bit of freezing fog turning into very light flakes of snow coming down. That has been fairly localized by the head of the lakes here, not over much of the rest of the region. But that fog is developing over a good chunk of the area. So now our dense fog advisory still stays in effect until 11 o'clock Friday morning, but it's spilled in towards the Bayfield Peninsula as well through Ashland County. And so the South Shore is now joining in with much of the North Shore and most of Minnesota as well with that fog advisory. Tomorrow morning's commute indeed could be a little bit iffy. And the clouds aloft are starting to fill back in as well, so we'll be mostly cloudy above and foggy down below. But that may break up once we get into Friday afternoon. Starting the day with a mostly cloudy sky and fog, but then becoming at least partly sunny in the afternoon, very much like today. And like today, it'll be warmer than normal tomorrow with a top temp of 24. Any Arctic outbreaks down the pike for us? I'll show you the latest with our 7-day forecast in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Back to our political coverage. There were Minnesotans among the thousands of Trump loyalists on the U.S. Capitol grounds during yesterday's destructive rally. Marielle Mose spoke to one man who says he felt compelled to be there. However, he does not support what he calls a small portion of the group that rioted and stormed to the Capitol.
And I woke up Tuesday morning and I didn't hit the road till about 8:30, and I drove all the way through by myself.
To be able to stand right here on Wednesday afternoon, Chad Rafdahl made the drive from Blooming Prairie to D.C. to be part of this crowd.
You know, I'm a Donald Trump supporter, but that's not why I went. I feel like there's lots of evidence that something's fishy with this election. So why not audit it? Just look.
When the tone of the rally changed and a mob of rioters broke into the U.S. Capitol, Rafdahl chose not to participate.
I'm a little disheartened, I guess a little heartbroken. You know, it just feels icky. I wasn't happy with what I seen, but that wasn't all that was going on. There was so much peace and, you know, looking out over the whole crowd and we were singing God Bless America and chanting USA. And
Rafdahl was close enough, though, that he and others around him were pepper sprayed, giving him a perspective change on how he hopes those watching from home will view him.
Just like the riots and stuff this summer in Minneapolis, you know, it's not everybody there was there to cause destruction, so we shouldn't lump everybody together.
At the end of the day, do you regret how yesterday went, or do you accept how yesterday went?
I accept how yesterday went. It wasn't picture perfect. I do think we've been heard. I do think some eyes were opened. I mean, we never want violence. We never want stuff like that. You know, we got to be able to get together before it gets to that point.
Meanwhile, a St. Louis County Commissioner is standing by remarks he made that drew criticism from his peers.
I desperately try not to put my nose into this cesspool whenever I don't have to.
That was St. Louis County Commissioner Keith Nelson on Tuesday, referring to the city of Duluth as a, quote, cesspool. Tonight, Nelson is speaking out about what he meant by that comment, which is drawing criticism from his colleagues on the board. At the meeting, Commissioner Frank Jewell, who represents Duluth, said the board was discussing roles for 2021 commissions. One of those was the Planning Commission. Jewell says he brought up the issue of not having county commissioners on the Planning Commission because it should be a citizen-led effort. Jewell says Commissioner Nelson got upset and then called Duluth a, quote, cesspool. Commissioner Nelson told us Thursday he never got to finish the rest of his sentence because he was interrupted by Jewell.
The cesspool that I was talking about is the politics in the city of Duluth and how it's starting to run over into the corridor townships, one of which I represent, which is Friedenberg.
Commissioner Nelson adds that he believes Jewell has been, quote, sticking his nose into Friedenberg Township in regards to a gravel pit permit. Starting Monday, entertainment centers, restaurants, and bars can open their doors after Governor Walz loosened COVID-19 restrictions. Glensheen Mansion in Duluth won't be opening their doors right away. Since January, as part of their winter season, their hours are limited already. Instead, the museum will continue following their COVID-19 safety plan. They're thinking of more outdoor events they can host when they do reopen. They say having both indoor and outdoor facilities has meant their restrictions look different than other entertainment centers.
So we have to follow a variety of different things. And so like we have an indoor capacity and we have a grounds capacity as well. So that will, impact how we do different things.
UMD has to approve their reopening plan. The new guidelines require people to continue wearing masks. Service also has to stop at 10 p.m. Send us more vaccines. The governors of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan joined a coalition of state leaders urging the federal government to step up distribution. The governors sent a letter to the Health and Human Services Secretary and the head of Operation Warp Speed. They asked them to distribute millions of vaccines that they say the Trump administration is currently holding back. The governors say getting shots in arms quickly will allow normal life to get back on track sooner. Minnesota is currently vaccinating frontline and essential workers, as well as those in long-term care facilities and the elderly. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, Minnesota lawmakers are weighing in on the calls to remove President Trump from office. How some feel about the situation coming up next.
Record high temp is 46 from the year 2003. Today we made it to 31, about 15 degrees off the mark. Tomorrow's high near 24 will still be 5 degrees warmer than normal. And we'll talk about the duration of this warm spell coming up after our break.
Live, local, CBS 3 News at 10 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS 3.
Local news and local weather here on CBS 3.
Home Furniture's New Year's sale continues with up to an extra 10% off sale prices, plus 0 down, 0% interest financing on any purchase until 2022, and free no-contact shipping. 10% off during the New Year's sale, only at Home Furniture.
Here are some quick tips for a safer shopping experience. Though reusable bags are great for the environment, they can be a carrier for bacteria. Before shopping, please wash all bags. Try to keep 6 feet or 2 shopping carts of distance between you and other shoppers. Plan ahead so your trip can be quick and efficient. Though cash is accepted at most businesses, cash can transfer bacteria. When possible, try to use cards to lessen the risk of spreading illness. With your help, we can keep our neighbors healthy and workers safe.
Truck toppers, lids, liners, and accessories. Northwest Outlet is your truck topper headquarters of the Northland. Northwest Outlet has a large variety of ARE toppers for all makes and models of trucks, foreign or domestic, in all kinds of custom colors and styles and free installation. ARE's smooth, sculptured profiles and tight fit make it hard to see where the cab ends and the topper begins. Beautiful and rugged ARE has the highest quality construction for strength and durability. Northwest Outlet, 1814 Belknap Superior, the store that saves you more.
This year's been just a huge year. We've had everything going on with the pandemic. It's hard to not have your heart go out to those people, the millions that have been impacted by that. That's why we do what we do, to try and keep people in the know. What's going on with this? When is it going to end? When's the vaccine going to be here? How is this impacting you? Where are resources to help you get through the pandemic and keep you and your family safe through all of this?
For coverage that matters most to you, tune to Live Local CBS 3.
During Home's New Year's sale at Sleep Express, get 0% interest financing on any Tempur-Pedic mattress for 6 years. Plus, Home will give you a bonus $300 shopping card, free delivery, setup, and a 120-day comfort guarantee. Home's New Year's sale at Sleep Express.
Join us weeknights for Live at 5 as we go around the Northland, city by city.
Now, the CBS 3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, the trees sure have been beautiful here since about Saturday or so, both with rime frost and with hoar frost. And to tell the difference between the two, bottom line is if it forms when the sky is clear, it's hoar frost. If it comes around when fog's around, it's rime frost. So the last couple of days, it's been of the rime variety. Today's picture here from the South Shore comes courtesy of our dear friend Anna Martin O'Merritt. Odds are the trees will be decorated with more of this tomorrow morning because we're facing another dense fog advisory for Minnesota and Wisconsin now through tomorrow morning at 11, although it does look like the Upper Peninsula off the hook. Let's take a look at what's going on outside right now with a live look at downtown Two Harbors, and it's pretty calm and easy going there in that part of the country. Indeed, still holding on to snow from last week on the sides of the road, but the roads themselves are in great shape. Likely will stay in great shape for most areas here because snow is going to be a hard thing to come by, though we are getting a little bit of lake effect right now at the head of the lakes in the western parts of Duluth. A very microclimate style snow that's not affecting too many neighborhoods. That's one of the neat things about our region, all those different little microclimates that fire up and affect one zone, but not all the others. Current temperatures, well, as clouds are trying to filter back in, we still got some patches out there. That's allowing the heat of the day to go into space, and that's allowing, at least briefly, some temperatures to get fairly brisk. Evelyn, Virginia, down to 6 right now, for example. Down to 8 International Falls, 9 in Ely, but as the clouds filter in later on tonight, overnight lows will actually go up by tomorrow morning and likely be in the teens for everybody. But our current temps include a range of 10 to 27 in the Upper Peninsula and 13 to 22 degrees here in northwestern Wisconsin. And for folks in Minnesota, it's as cool as 6 towards the Quad Cities and as warm as 19 around Cloquet. Bottom line is, it'll stay warmer than normal for much of the week ahead. Not too many clouds showing up on this picture right now because the resolution is just a little bit too wide and the clouds are on the thinner side, but yeah, they're filling back in, and that'll set us up for a mostly cloudy sky after midnight because this high pressure cell is not strong enough to really make us clear. And that low coming in from the west isn't strong enough to do much more than make us cloudy. So I think for the weekend, despite the head of the lakes, a little snowfall tonight, we'll be on the cloudier side, but the drier side and the warmer side. No big cool outbreaks coming for the week ahead, and no big snowstorms either. Tonight, Minnesota, low temps. They'll rebound a bit and then run from about 10 to 17 for Wisconsin, and Michigan should bottom out in the mid-teens. For tomorrow, with partial sunshine coming back in the afternoon, Wisconsin, Michigan should be in the mid to upper 20s. Minnesota numbers should run from low to mid-20s with partial sunshine there as well. And eyeing up the 7-day forecast, we do this back-and-forth battle between partly sunny one day and mostly cloudy the next, with high temperatures in the 20s to about 30 degrees, which is warmer than normal. Overnight low temps in the middle teens to about 20, which is a bit warmer than normal. Okay. And Tony, no major snow chances this week. Discounting that neighborhood snow parts of Duluth and Superior are getting tonight.
Yeah, that's a weird snow out there tonight. I left West Duluth to come back into work tonight. It's just barely, maybe an 1/8 inch of snow, and man, was it slippery. And by the time I made it to here in Canal Park, nothing.
Yeah, we don't have any here.
Yeah, it was very weird.
It's your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
You didn't bring it with you.
I didn't bring it with me, no. Thanks, Dave. Minnesota lawmakers are weighing in on the calls to remove President Trump from office. All 6 Democrats in Minnesota's delegation support removal, including Senators Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith. Esme Murphy brings us the message from other Minnesota lawmakers.
It was 4 a.m. when the vice president announced Joe Biden's Electoral College win. Lawmakers had not left the Capitol for 17 straight hours. As the mob stormed the historic halls, lawmakers were whisked away and locked in a secure area. Overnight, they were back on the floor debating the very issue that had brought the crisis on, the move by some Republicans to overturn the Electoral College vote for Joe Biden. In the end, 2 Minnesota Republicans joined 139 House members and 8 senators in voting not to certify the election results. Representative Jim Hagedorn voted no, citing liberal activists whose unilateral and unconstitutional actions influence the outcome of elections. And Representative Michelle Fischbach said this election was shrouded in allegations of irregularities and fraud. Minnesota Democrats are united in wanting the president out of office before the January 20th inauguration. Representative Dean Phillips says he now backs impeachment.
He has to be out. We can, on one day, the course of a country can change in perpetuity, as we saw yesterday, and we came awfully close to something that none of us imagined even possible in our lifetimes.
Both Minnesota's Democratic senators say they would support the cabinet removing Trump via the 25th Amendment.
Whether this will happen is up to his own cabinet. The way the rules work, over 50% of his cabinet members would have to vote to do that.
I believe that this outgoing president is a danger to our democracy, and he will be that danger as long as he's in office.
Meanwhile, Minnesota's two Republican congressmen, Tom Emmer and Pete Stauber, both voted to certify Joe Biden's win. Both had previously cited concerns about the integrity of the election. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, a big change is coming to the Superior Library. We will tell you all about it coming up next.
CBS 3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Welcome to Medical Insight, a weekly healthcare feature brought to you by the experts at Essentia Health. Here's your host, Louis St. George.
Today on Medical Insight, Essentia Health interventional neurologist Vikram Jadhav explains strokes.
An acute stroke is a very time-sensitive problem. People who are having a stroke essentially are not getting any blood supply to the brain, and thereby they are not getting any oxygen to the brain. The brain is a very sensitive organ that the brain cells start dying as soon as the blood supply stops. You can imagine if the brain doesn't get any blood supply just for 1 minute, about 2 million neurons or brain cells die. And that translates into about 3.6 years of normal aging if the brain doesn't get any blood supply for an hour. So let's look at the risk factors or the subset of people who are more vulnerable because of the risk factors that they can take care of. These are patients who would have high blood pressure and bad cholesterol, patients who have other risk factors like diabetes, then patients who are smokers.
As an advanced thrombectomy-capable stroke center, Essentia is able to remove clots from the brain blood vessels, saving our patients valuable time by ensuring they don't have to travel hours for care.
These are places or institutions which can provide the entire gamut of stroke care 24/7 all the time, and who have the specialized care that can be given by doing the thrombectomy procedure. Time is of essence, time is brain.
Remember the Be Fast acronym: balance, eyes, face, arms, or speech. T is for timeliness. If you experience any of these stroke signs, go to an ER or call 911. For Medical Insight, I'm Louis St. George.
To learn more about this and other health topics, visit essentiahealth.org/medicalinsight.
Injured? Call Stockman Law Office. Payments of medical bills and wages. Money for pain and suffering. Call anytime 218-576-8599. No recovery, no fee. Stockman Law Office. Serious injuries, serious law.
Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northland still to this day.
Watch High on Mining with Kristen Vaki every Tuesday at 10. Brought to you by Iron Mining Association, Range Regional Airport, and Miners National Bank of Evelyn. Only on Live Local CBS 3.
In your new Toro snowblower from Duluth Lawn and Sport.
Don't let the weather ruin your day.
Covered by a winter storm watch.
Dave Anderson, Caitlin Moffat, and Peter Kevitkauskas. The CBS 3 weather team, tracking more than just severe storms. Dave
The new year means no more worrying about late fees at the Superior Public Library. Library reps announced they've become a fine-free library. The move allows more people to access the materials there. Fines can be an economic barrier for some people. Reps say most people return items on time, but they don't want to penalize busy families or discourage them from enjoying the library. They also say the fines didn't really work as intended.
We thought it was a way to get people to return their items more promptly. And we found over the years that that is not the case. And it was really acting as a barrier to people being able to use the library.
The library will still issue fines and replacement costs for lost or damaged items. Still ahead in sports, the Northwestern boys basketball team look to pick up their 6th win, plus the Badgers and Hoosiers go to double overtime. We'll tell you who came out on top following the break.
Local news and local weather here on CBS 3.
It's the season for Stream and the perfect time to power up all your devices with Extreme Internet.
Call today and save with prices as low as $19.99 a month for 1 year. Go dashing through your shows with amazing speeds from 60 meg up to 1 gig. Powerful in-home Wi-Fi and 99.99% network reliability. Enjoy the gift of high-speed entertainment for as low as $19.99 a month for 1 year. Dial 844 Extreme 2.
Fire threatens everything in its path. When it threatens our communities, we respond. We bring the fight to the front line. The Army National Guard stands ready because sometimes the front lines are in our own backyard. We will always be there when our community needs us the most. Find out more about serving your community part-time by visiting NationalGuard.com.
I don't think any other year is ever going to be like 2020. I never thought that I would go through something like this ever in my life. This pandemic's not an isolated thing to our country or to our state or to our city. This is something that's affecting the world, and that just shows really how interconnected we all are. And I think that's why news is so important, because news is kind of like that lifeline to kind of bring that information out and bring us all together.
Watch Jenna and Caitlin in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m.
This year has been just a huge year. We've had everything going on with the pandemic. It's hard to not have your heart go out to those people, the millions that have been impacted by that. That's why we do what we do, to try and keep people in the know. What's going on with this? When is it going to end? When's the vaccine going to be here? How is this impacting you? Where are resources to help you get through the pandemic and keep you and your family safe through all of this?
For coverage that matters most to you, tune to Live Local CBS3.
Heart attacks and strokes happen, even in the midst of COVID-19, and at least one will occur while you're watching this. Heart attacks and strokes are medical emergencies. If you experience symptoms of a heart attack or stroke, do not delay seeking care. Call 911 immediately. Hospitals are prepared and can safely treat you. Visit cdc.gov/coronavirus to learn more.
It's been nearly a month since the last time the Northwestern boys basketball team took their home floor. That ended tonight when they hosted Chautauqua Weyerhaeuser. Quite the start from junior guard Monte Mayberry. Here he comes up with the steal and then takes it to the rack for two. Tigers lead by 2. He wasn't finished because moments later, Mayberry, give him all 3. He would account for the first 9 points for Northwestern. Tigers lead 9-0. Northwestern would keep attacking the rim. A nice pass here sets up Harrison Nelson underneath. He converts. Then how about another 3? This time it's Bennett Nelson. Northwestern picks up their 6th win, 87-40. The Big Ten has been as competitive as it gets this season. 7 teams are nationally ranked, including both the Gophers and the Badgers. Wisconsin is currently 8th with Indiana on the schedule tonight. Game was tight early. Demetric Trice finds Micah Potter. You might want to get a body on that guy. He finished with 10. It went to overtime. Badgers were down 2 with time winding down. Trice could have run the clock down, but Trice wanted the bucket. It goes to double overtime, which is where they finally got some breathing room in Wisconsin. They call this the dagger. Tyler Wall, and Wisconsin takes this one 80-73. In the NBA, the Timberwolves playing late on the West Coast, trying to snap a 5-game skid against the Portland Trailblazers. At last check, the Trailblazers lead by 19 at the break. Timberwolves return home Saturday to play the San Antonio Spurs. It's a well-earned bye for the Packers as the top seed in the NFC playoffs. They can thank their juggernaut offense, the top scoring group in the league averaging over 31 points per game. A lot of that has to do with their success in the red zone, or as they call it, the gold zone. Green Bay scored touchdowns on 80% of their drives inside the 20 during the regular season. The previous franchise record for red zone touchdowns was 68%. Their third down conversion rate was also up this season, a point of pride for offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett.
I think it's about just trying to create an environment that people want to play for each other. It just makes it harder for defenses, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, everybody gets to root for each other, and you see it on the sideline. I think that's something that's so great is just on the field, how the guys celebrate together, how they truly appreciate each person. So yeah, you have to have everybody have an opportunity and really showcase what they're doing, because that's what everybody gets fired up for.
The way the seeding works, there are only 4 potential opponents for them in the divisional round. That's the Rams, Bucks, Bears, and Washington football team. If all the games go to the favorites, they would host Tampa Bay next week. And just in tonight, the Packers plan on welcoming 6,000 season ticket holders into Lambeau Field next weekend. Seats will be sold in pods of 2, 4, and 6 throughout the stadium and will not be transferable once sold. All of the tickets will be distributed using mobile devices. Seats and club seats will not be available. Only outdoor bowl seating will be used. Green Bay had previously been allowing a small number of employees and frontline healthcare workers at Lambeau Field for games. Now that's all for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Change the future of medicine from the convenience of home. Join the All of Us research program to help improve health research and speed up medical breakthroughs. Visit essentialhealth.org/allofus to learn more.
Complying with national guidelines is made easy with the CEDA's commercial touchless forehead thermometer. The Instant Read LCD digital display yields an accurate body temperature reading from 2 to 4 inches within half a second. From schools, offices, shops, and all other public places, keep yourself safe and compliant with a hands-free thermometer that's easy to install and easier to use. Visit www.cedusonline.com. That is CETUSonline.com.
This year's been just a huge year. We've had everything going on with the pandemic. It's hard to not have your heart go out to those people, the millions that have been impacted by that. That's why we do what we do, to try and keep people in the know. What's going on with this? When is it going to end? When's the vaccine going to be here? How is this impacting you? Where are resources to help you get through the pandemic and keep you and your family safe through all of this?
For coverage that matters most to you, tune to Live Local CBS3.
Everything that happens on a day-to-day basis in terms of news, no matter what happens in news, weather is always constant, weather is always changing as well. So it's still an important role as the meteorologist to kind of still stay grounded and to kind of just know that role and what to take and kind of just make sure you're delivering what's the most important for your viewers. But then also I like to touch base on the national things. All of those news stories also tie in with weather stories because they do go kind of hand in hand.
Watch Jenna and Caitlin in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community, and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers get paid training to keep the power flowing, engines running, and supplies moving. Army National Guard soldiers are learning skills that can set them up for success with companies looking to hire the best.
The Army National Guard basically built my resume for me.
Find out how you can learn a trade and serve part-time for your community and country by visiting nationalguard.com.
Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northland still to this day. From environmental issues to economics and so much more. Join me, Kristen Baki, every Tuesday for Eye on Mining, a fair and unbiased report that answers the tough questions surrounding the world of mining.
Eye on Mining with Kristen Baki. Tuesdays at 10 only on Live Local CBS3. Brought to you by Iron Mining Association. Men's wardrobe provided by Mainstream Fashions for Men, celebrating 30 years in business in 2021 with 30% off store-wide, downtown Duluth.
A favorite among dog lovers will go on this year. The Puppy Bowl will happen. Discovery says Puppy Bowl 17 will premiere on Discovery Plus and Animal Planet on February 7th. Team Ruff and Team Fluff will face off in the 3-hour event with a kitty halftime show. 70 puppies from 22 different shelters will participate in the game. All the animals featured are up for adoption, and Discovery says past games have had 100% adoption rates. ESPN's Monday Night Football play-by-play announcers Steve Levy and SportsCenter host Sage Steele will provide commentary and I'm sure some very astute analysis of what happens at Puppy Bowl 17. Dave, that's always a fan favorite. You ever tried to enter your little chihuahua in there?
No.
Okay.
3 hour attention span for a 5-pound Chihuahua. It's not going
Yeah,
to
probably
work.
not so great. Yeah.
It's hard enough to focus these days on the weather, which is hard to change. It's been very static and will stay static for the week ahead, meaning warmer than normal, cloudier than normal, and less snowy than normal.
All right, looks like some decent sunshine chances. Thanks, Dave. We'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks for watching.